I just can't. I can't wait, babe. I can't wait, babe. I can wrap my legs around you, girl. Sugar, you know, you're just the kind of lover that I've been looking for. Tonight, why don't we skip all the foreplay, mom? Just get down here on the floor. Scandalous. Turn the lights on, strike a candle. No one that I ever knows how to handle my body the way you truly do. Insatiable my name when it comes to you. Welcome, welcome, family. He is greatly missed. He is greatly missed in these times, in these days. Yes. But, you know, as I've been outside today, something has been amiss. Something, I have been feeling something, I can't put my fingers on it, in the air. It's this feeling, this strong feeling that's coming up. But I know it's greatness. It's not anything bad, but it's greatness. And I just can't put my finger on it. I wish I could describe it. I want to say feminine. Um, just the calmness, just a moment, as if I can go deep within myself whenever I'm outside today. Sometimes I don't get that feeling. That's a unique feeling to me, and I feel it more than ever in this weather change as we progress and move towards uh, autumn. And it's a beautiful time. I know that much. So we have to, indulge in everything. Like I indulge in Prince, these two songs by Prince. It brings back moments in time, you know, and just like every moment we should engulf up and appreciate and live within and just feel it and just let it go through our noses, let it go in our ears, let it go, just indulge, as I say. So let's get into the topic today. What came first, family? What came first? A lot of us don't stop to think critically about these religions and what was done to us, the situation we've been put in. Our language has been taken away from us. Our identity has been taken away from us. And I was listening to somebody earlier, and they were saying our culture this, our culture that. But I'm like, wait a minute, this is not my culture. This is not my culture. Y'all always hear me say constructs, that things are made to seem a certain way with us, and our perspectives is heavily plays a big part because of our experiences, right? So basically, what came first? The Bible, the book, or you, your lineage, where we come from? You know, we have to think about these things because if we don't, this is an important part of when we make decisions, when we're trying not to be conflicted, because people will make us conflicted in this life. When we know we want to go with our own thinking, opinions of things, how we feel about something, if something is right or wrong, we want to know the biggest thing is something right or wrong for us. So we have to sit and think, what came first? I came first. You came first before there was ever any book. Because as we learn here, we are infinity. Our ancestors live within us. Just like the songs of Prince, those two songs have penetrated within me. And it's just that deep passion, that connection that, it often saddens me when I hear these songs because Prince is no longer in the state that he was in amongst us. So it's true that this experience is only one experience, right? But we are eternity. But we are eternity. Hold on a second, family. Hold on. I'm back. Yeah, it's all a part of pretty much mind control, and we don't know that we've been in a construct. And within this construct, uh, there's been things built uh, to put us under a certain mind control. And when you think about it, it definitely has been religion. And now, let me explain how. You have to think about that maybe, perhaps, for a long, long time before our people became subjugated, prisoners of war, what have you, whatever you want to call it. Um, hmm, hold on. We had a way of life. We've always had a way of life. The femininity, the great mom was always put first. Was always put first. And we can see why. We know why. We can look at the society today and see how lowly it is. And rep- retrospect, when we look at how the masculine comes first in this society, okay? We already had the feminine first. So we were doing things in a proper manner. Our men were manly. We never had in a society, we actually, our society, they beat it into us today to accept lesbian gay relationships, but that was unheard of in within amongst the darker people. That was just totally unheard of and not very discouraged. Not something that we practiced at all. And because the feminine energy was well respected, right? And that was that natural common sense, that wisdom, that intuition, and so we know that it was very heavily spiritual, more connected. We were more connected spiritually. So being more connected spiritually, you have to look at these things. These are just some things you have to look at, and you can measure. It's always great to measure things, right? So we measure this with this, and then we see that what is missing, like it's like having a, if you want to be healthy, if you want to get to a certain weight, you got to make sure you have your nutrients, all the nutrients the body needs, but not too much and not stuff that the body doesn't necessarily need. So that's a balance. And that's the scales that we lived up upon. If something didn't go right, you know why it didn't go right. If the body gets sick, you know why the body gets sick, because it's not balanced. Something knocked it out of whack. Something you did, you ate, knocked that body out of whack. So it's the same with everything, and that's science. Relationships, uh, relationships, number one. It's the number one thing that you can use that science for as well. But it's to see what did you introduce or what did you do. It's usually our behavior, and our behavior In this case, we're as prisoners of war is controlled. It's controlled. I talk about money. Money is the tool to control it because everybody in this society that was constructed around us, they took us from the place where we had life more easier, more better, into a world democracy. Let's just say that a world democracy of control, um, hiding food from people. Because I don't see, I can walk around and I see these trees don't have no fruits on them. Because one thing I realized it was control. It's a mechanism of control. It's a way to control you into being the way they want you to be. And this society is good for it, right? So it's very critical that we think about what came first when it comes to these things that we are given. Especially culture. When we look at culture, in a way, you can take it back because a lot of our culture is spiritual. A lot of the things that we bring forth have been from our recent experience and things that are inundated within us naturally. Um, like dance moves, for example, dance moves. We naturally act out our dance moves. And these, a lot of times, we might trace it back. We can trace those things back. We can trace those things back. So, what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people want to look at a book that came after you. The Bible, believe it or not, came after you existed because we do know that we exist in infinity as energy. So it's not necessarily about the physical things that we're dealing with. It's more importantly about the spiritual things that we're dealing with. The physical, in a way, is a manifestation for our experience, right? It's something brought forward for us to come into as physical beings to experience it. So we've always been. So the number one thing I want you to take away from that point is that you should listen to self more, um, as far as creativity, um, go within and listen to self more, way more than you do having to listen to what's outside of you when you know and you have seen the evidence of what's outside of you and how it has worked in the past and worked actually in the present as well. So when we look at it, does the Bible really um, help you, or does it harm you more than it helps you? That's a question. That's a big question right there. Does it harm you more or does it help you? Well, I would say that it harms you more because, for one thing, it depends on the audience. It depends on who's using that book. Because if you come from a group of people who were stripped of your identity, who you are, why you are, and what you are, and um, don't even have your own language anymore or know what that language was like. Um, just confused all over about where you come from. Uh, in the world around you, that's because somebody really did a number on us. And in doing a number on us, they heavily depended on the book. But now we know that this book is is not what they say it was, that they said it was. It's more of a um, something that takes from us more than it gives to us. It takes from us because it many of the things um, it brings forth more of a physical way of the mundane. Let's just say the mundane. It talks about uh, war. It talks about women. It talks about the children. It talks about um, just land. It talks various different things that really don't um, are very minute in this multiverse that we're in, and to keep us on that level, to keep us at that low level of thinking, because it's the mundane. It's not anything really um, spiritual. Turning water to wine, bread to what, um, and just what do you do? Stuff like that. It's to keep you at a level, and it has kept us at a level. If it was anything that really worked for us, do you think that they would give it to you? You see, that's why I say, what came first, you or the things that we've been given in our captivity? What came first? I submit to you that definitely you and I came first, even though a lot of us think this book was made, that this book was made from the ancients. Um, I would more than likely say, yeah, it probably was drafted from from a concept, but it moved totally different in a different direction than where it was supposed to go. Because as we know, that looking at the people literally living within the Bible and experiencing, um, it tell you get a reflection of the people we see today, and you got to think, is someone really is this a trick? Because it reflects the people that we see today. It reflects nothing but the people we see today and that we have to unfortunately experience, the ones who have us in captivity. But that I say that once again, that is on a low level, though, a very low level, because it's nothing spiritual within that. It's nothing spiritual within going around and doing these things that they did, and then killing the messenger and hanging them on a tree, and war, putting people in prison, and just all the stuff that's in there like that, literally. Only a literal people who would subscribe to the that way of life within the Bible. And as we see the same thing, in the world we living in today. You know, when and then it's all masculine. It's all masculine. Just left out totally the feminine energy. It's all masculine, and he's brewing up a spell. He's brewing a spell up for you on a constant basis. Once before I said it was almost like a voodoo doll. Like they use this book for a voodoo doll, like in a way, like the people inside of it, you know. And, you know, it's like because in our world it's totally different. Like I mentioned earlier, the feminine energy was always bowed down to, you know. That's the one that's the one all come through. We all come through that. Of course that's powerful and it's holy and it's everything. That's where we come from. So we give honor to that. But in this society that we're in, we don't give honor to that. We give honor to the man for man-made things, for constructs, you know. So when we deeply look into it, when we say to ourselves what came first, you know, definitely you and your energy came first because it takes a being here experiencing these things to actually uh, or who's seeing these things because they're all seeing eyes. There's a lot of people that were had the psychic ability to see things and to tell about to write these things and tell about it for a later time. But don't let it get twisted and you believe everything because especially when you know what came first and what did not come first, you know. Longer than English, we've been here. So that's just one point of it all. Longer than English, the language, longer than this country has been United States of America, we've been here. Longer than every longer. Okay, this gets me the most. People still really believe that you can trace your lineage back to these countries in Africa. When the people that live in these countries in Africa at this time and day, they don't even originate from those places. It was a whole different world. We cannot say, oh, did I come from Ghana? Ghana didn't exist as Ghana then. Oh, did I come from here? No, it wasn't a particular land that you can pinpoint where you came from. You just can't do it. Biologically, you're not related to the land. We don't share blood veins with the land. It was a whole we've all been scattered and mixed up all over the planet, you know, because we've always been all over the planet. I feel like me personally, I'm a very passionate person, as you all can see. So basically, I go places and I really deeply feel something, deeply feel as if I feel a connection. It doesn't matter where I'm at on this planet, I'll feel connection to someplace. In Afghanistan, I felt, well, yeah, I felt a connection when I was there. I felt a connection. I felt a connection every place I've ever been. Any place I go, it doesn't matter. I'll feel some kind of connection. you know. So I don't limit myself because I don't know. We don't know, honestly. And what we don't know, why are we moving on that and making it into part of the construct that we're in? And that construct limits you in a way. It cuts us off from our greatness, our inheritance, I want to say, you know. So me personally, I don't like the construct. It's fakery at its finest to me. So I like to educate people that no, we cannot just say that, because a lot of these Ghana wasn't Ghana when they were taking slaves. Ghana was not Ghana when they were taking slaves. And we got to get this in our minds that the world wasn't the way it was in a certain point of time until someone made it that way. And until they started terraforming. Hey, Sonara Smith, JS and D. Until they started making it that way. The most important thing I want you to take away from my sleepy butt talking is that look at, see the construct and break free from it and know your truth. That's the most important thing. Know your truth. You know, all these places that we think were countries not too long ago. They weren't countries not too long ago. That's important to see this and to do deeper research and not just allow people to tell us whatever. That's the most important thing. Is know. Is to know. You came first. So since you came first, listen to self. Love self. Loving self is very greatly important. So family, I'm going to close out with that thought. Just something I had to come across that came across my mind was what came first. The most important thing, if we can question ourselves and examine, check it out deeply, look into these things that we've been bombarded with, constructed around us, so we can know what's good for us as people and what's bad for us. You know the truth. And with that said, true love, real peace, the higher self within the soul. Till next time, peace, family. Let me finish up with my incision. Jones, mother. Oh yeah, it be like this. I can't have a hug. I can't have a hug unless I have a kiss. My body, baby, you truly do. Insatiable, my name when it comes to you. Like a wildcat mama in a celebrate range. I want you alone in my dirty little cage. Can you understand, mother? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nobody, baby, you truly do. Fashion was my name when it comes to you. Tonight we video. No one family.